What happens when a solar eclipse turns into the apocalypse? As the skies darken, monstrous creatures rise, cities fall, and humanity faces its darkest hour. One family's fight to survive will uncover shocking truths, betrayals, and a terrifying secret about these monsters. You won't believe how this Judgment Day unfolds. In a remote power plant outside the city, a group of employees gathers to celebrate a coworker's birthday. Their laughter abruptly turns to unease when the security cameras capture an ominous shadow moving through the shaft. One worker, compelled to investigate, is instantly attacked by an unknown creature. Chaos erupts as the monsters follow him back, beating everyone in their path. As a solar eclipse plunges the world into darkness, these creatures emerge across the planet, wreaking havoc, destroying cities, and claiming millions of lives. The media dubs this catastrophe Judgment Day. Soldiers are dispatched to combat the invaders in a grueling battle that lasts until the eclipse ends. Though humanity ultimately prevails, it comes at the cost of countless lives and immense resources. Determined to prevent another invasion, they build fortified installations known as gates to secure the future. 15 years later, life has resumed a semblance of normalcy. Dave, now a janitor, works a thankless job cleaning shafts and disposing of dead animals. His ex-wife, Laura, teaches at the local school where her colleague Milton persistently asks her out. After years of emotional scars and raising their son Tyler, Laura finally accepts Milton's invitation for a date. Meanwhile, Tyler reassures his nervous girlfriend, Maddie, that the upcoming eclipse poses no danger, reminding her of the many uneventful eclipses in the past. At one of the gates, Officer Garrett receives an urgent call about seismic activity. As he checks the systems, a power box explodes, leaving an entire grid offline. Back in the city, Dave and Laura argue over past grievances while Tyler listens in. Tensions rise when Uncle Ted calls Dave, convinced that another Judgment Day is imminent, and urges him to bring his family to his desert shelter. Tyler, disturbed by news reports of millions of dead fish washing ashore, a harbinger of the earlier invasion, sneaks out to meet Maddie at a skate park. Laura, seeing the same ominous signs, frantically tries to contact Dave, but their unresolved conflict hampers communication. At the gate, the first monster silently ascends the stairs, initiating another nightmare. Chaos spreads as emergency sirens blare across the city. Laura and Milton track Tyler's location and find him with Maddie at the skate park. A sudden screech fills the air, and flocks of birds swarm the sky, intensifying the panic. As the city descends into turmoil, Dave, Laura, Milton, Tyler, and Maddie navigate through gridlock streets, seeking refuge. Gangs roam the roads, preaching doom and adding to the frenzy. They eventually reach Milton's reserved shelter, only to find it overwhelmed. Military personnel enforce strict entry policies, allowing only women and children. Reluctantly, Dave sends Tyler with Laura and Maddie, but Tyler refuses to abandon his father and runs back. The family's departure is further delayed when Milton proposes hiding at the nearby school. However, an earthquake strikes as the eclipse begins, unleashing hordes of monsters onto the city. During a heated argument, Milton is taken by a flying creature, leaving Dave to take charge and drive his family out of the chaos. As the car runs low on gas, they stop to scavenge from abandoned vehicles, discovering lifeless bodies inside. Dave encounters a survivor who warns of a nearby monster. Using the creature's distraction as it feasts, Dave carefully retrieves a new car and reunites with his family. Despite their efforts to remain silent, the monster notices them. An elderly man unalived himself by using salt to momentarily repel the beast, allowing the family to escape to the mountains. They finally arrive at Ted's bunker, a fortified hideout with security cameras. Their cries for help go unanswered until the doors creak open just as a monstrous horde closes in. Inside, the family meets Ted, his wife Stella, and Officer Garrett, who had sought refuge after losing contact with his unit. Tensions rise when Dave notices Garrett's firearm, fueling his suspicions as the group braces for the challenges ahead. The group gathers to share a meal, their unease growing as they watch the monitors display the relentless attempts of the creatures to smash through the door. The unsettling noise of futile screams on the radio only amplifies their anxiety. Maddie, curious about how the creatures track them, asks Garrett, who reveals that they react to heat and light, but speculates they might also sense human souls. He recounts his harrowing escape during the first Judgment Day when he worked at a refinery. As the creatures invaded, he hid in a pond of salty mud, listening helplessly as his colleagues perished. During Garrett's narration, Ted covertly signals Dave to conceal a sharp object, oblivious to a centipede-like creature squeezing through a gap in the window mesh. Garrett volunteers for watch duty, but Ted, eyeing Dave, suggests they stay awake and play cards. Suspicious, Garrett notices the interaction and draws his weapon, compelling Dave to drop the sharp object. He accuses Ted of wanting him excluded from the group and asserts his determination to survive at any cost. The tension escalates when Tyler tries to disarm Garrett, only to be shoved aside. As the argument intensifies, Maddie silences them, pointing out the sudden absence of noise from the creatures. Before anyone can react, the centipede-like monster attacks, biting Stella. Ted tears it off her neck and douses it with salt, while Dave seizes Garrett's fire weapon and attempts to fire the creature. Despite his efforts, the monster dodges, but Maddie ends it with the knife. The group restrains Garrett and tends to Stella, whose condition worsens. On the monitors, they see a colossal beast battering the front door. While Ted insists on staying, Stella urges them to escape through an underground tunnel leading to the mountains. Garrett offers to drive them to a safe gate, claiming he has a car with fuel, and the group reluctantly agrees. Before leaving, Ted reveals a hidden cache of weapons, arming everyone. Dave opens the door, eliminating the first creature with an explosion, and joins the others in the tunnel. As the group moves through the passage, Stella begins to weaken, showing signs of transformation. Outside, Tyler notices a stationary monster. When Maddie approaches, a tentacle from the ground grabs her. The others fight it off, freeing Maddie before fleeing. Garrett convinces Dave to untie him, arguing he can help. Unknown to the group, Dave hides an injury on his arm. At the mountain's summit, they find Garrett's car, but it won't start. As monsters appear, Garrett desperately works on the engine. Stella, nearing complete transformation, tries to end her suffering with a fire weapon, but Ted stops her, begging her to stay. Realizing her fate, Stella stays behind, letting the creatures consume her while the others escape in the car. On the road, they intercept a radio transmission detailing the widespread destruction of other shelters. When they reach the gate, they find it abandoned with no power. Garrett and Dave restore electricity, revealing that saltwater defenses failed due to the depth of the monster breach. However, as they regroup, a body above them bleeds onto Garrett, signaling a lurking threat. The group opts to hide in a chemical warehouse, but the noise of an earlier scuffle attracts more creatures. Amid the chaos, Garrett injects himself with a mysterious substance to combat his transformation. Dave discovers a way to channel salt water through pipes to ward off the monsters. While setting the plan in motion, he narrowly escapes a harm, defeating a creature with salt. Meanwhile, the others fend off advancing monsters, and Tyler activates the fire alarm, releasing a saltwater deluge that obliterates the creatures. As the eclipse ends, the monsters retreat to their realm, causing the ground to quake. Garrett, succumbing to his transformation, turns on the group, injuring Tyler. Dave intervenes, incapacitating Garrett. A massive beast emerges, devouring Garrett before attacking the family. They mix a salt solution in a cylinder and use it to unalive the creature, securing their survival. Exiting the facility, the family surveys the ruins of their world. Though devastated, they resolve to rebuild and reclaim what remains of their lives. As the eclipse ends and the monsters vanish, the family is left to rebuild in a shattered world. Their courage and sacrifice stand as a testament to survival against all odds. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more jaw-dropping survival stories.